And now a summary of the movie Mulholland Drive. Mulholland Drive is a 2001 erotic thriller by David Lynch, a guy who makes very confusing movies, Mulholland Drive being one of them. The story of Mulholland Drive is very confusing for most people, but I am here to end the confusion. Mulholland Drive is the story of a woman named Betty, played by Naomi Watts in the role that made her famous. Betty is a Canadian girl who dreams of being a big Hollywood star. Unfortunately, she can't act to save her life. So Betty imagines herself a woman from Canada named Betty. She meets a woman from Los Angeles named Diane, played by the smoldering Laura Herring. Betty falls in love with Diane. Also, her real name's Diane, and Diane's real name is Camilla. Betty and Camilla, or Diane, no, Diane and Camilla fall in lust. And after they pull a Scooby Doo and solve a mystery, they have sex with one another. Unfortunately, the sex between the two opens a gate to another dimension, where we see that Betty is in fact a woman named Diane, who, like Betty, is a failed actress, probably from Canada. Meanwhile, Diane is still played by the smoldering Laura Herring. Only instead of being an amnesiac, she has all her memories and is still sleeping with Naomi Watts' Diane and another guy and probably another girl and probably 100 other people. So Diane, very angry that Laura Herring is cheating on her, decides to hire a hitman and make her a little less alive. And it works. And so Diane is happy, but she goes crazy and she makes herself slightly less alive than she was that morning. Also, there's a whole lot of other stuff that makes no sense whatsoever. The high point of this movie, of course, is the sex scene between Naomi Watts and Laura Herring. A sex scene that has inspired millions upon millions of men the world over to jerk themselves off silly. The movie is also very notable for being a David Lynch movie. It is very confusing, and David Lynch has provided no discernible answers as to what it's about. However, a a person who pays attention will know that the movie is ultimately about lesbianism and how hot Laura Herring is and why it's okay and understandable for Naomi Watts' character to fall deeply, deeply in lust with her. Just like Hollywood. Only Hollywood makes movies, and Laura Herring makes peepees harder. The movie also has a subplot about a failed director being told by his bosses to hire an unknown actress for a big movie project he is doing. A movie project called the Sylvia North story. Sylvia North is a woman who is named Sylvia and is from the North. Hence, the Sylvia North story. This subplot is boring, but it does have Billy Ray Cyrus and his achy breaky heart sleeping with the director's wife. Also, he punches the director. But then he gets punched by a hitman hired to do away with the director and make him a little less alive. Thankfully, the director finishes the movie, and it is allegedly a big hit, even though the movie sounds boring. Mulholland Drive has many, many themes. For example, the aforementioned lesbianism, which was very, very noteworthy and may in fact be the one thing this movie is known the most for. Another theme of the movie is what a crappy place to live Los Angeles and particularly Hollywood is. It never rains there. It is all desert, and the people over there are morons who are too rich for their own good. Ultimately, I give Mulholland Drive 4 out of 5 stars. And Naomi Watts is fantastic and very, very beautiful, but damn, Laura Herring. Yeah, boy. Go watch Mulholland Drive.